Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. How do we record an episode? Where do we find background music? How do we get our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places that people like to listen? And where do we find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Anchor makes it simple to get up and running. You can upload and schedule your podcasts ahead of time. It publishes to all the major podcast platforms. You can easily check your stats. I could go on, but instead, why don't you go and get started? Go to anchor.fm/start to join the e-commerce minute and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
It's the E-commerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news, with your hosts Bart Mraz and John Suter. The E-commerce Minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's E-commerce Minute, episode 260.
In today's episode, Ikea gets into streetwear with Chris Stamp Colab.
The Swedish retailer Ikea announced a new collaborative line of products called SPANST. The collection features furniture and accessories, but also streetwear-styled clothing, and freelance designer Maja Goshniniec. Founded in 2011, Stamped is known for its meticulous attention to detail and designs that embody modern youth culture with high-quality and minimalistic aesthetics. Ikea originally approached Stamped to work on a collaboration and consulting on interiors and lighting. Once the two teams talked, the relationship grew organically and evolved into a full lifestyle collection, including clothes. The clothing prices range from $25 for a hoodie, $10 for t-shirts, and $7 hats. And some include the coordinates of the first Ikea store and the first Stamp shop, according to Adweek. The collection targets younger consumers who don't think of Ikea as a place to buy clothing, but might be attracted to the urban, minimal style of the clothing, which is in tune with the Swedish outlet's aesthetic. The clothing collection, as well as other SPANST items, will be available in the U.S. for a limited time. No word if the clothing comes with extra buttons or wrenches.
Sorry, it was not. I know I should be more excited about the story, but I'm not. I don't know. It's Ikea, for the love of God.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. Isn't it for young audience anyway?
You know who buys Ikea? College kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good audience.
Okay, and then you have people who like the aesthetic and don't care that it's particle board. And then you have what they're now trying to find that middle ground where it's someone who's just out of college, is getting their act together, but doesn't want to have something that looks cheap but displays nicely, and they again don't care if it lasts forever. And I think I saw a couple interviews with Chris Stamp, and the reason that they approached him is the person they're trying to attract, again, is the person that I just described, someone just out of college. But
fair enough. They
want to also display their goods and clothing in a certain way because they're of that certain aesthetic. So if you look at Stamped, it's all very, it's like sneakers and skatewear and all that same kind of stuff, but it's very stripped down, very minimal, clean lines. And I think they're just trying to kind of package that together. But I think they're also trying to kind of give a signal to the more, the more millennial customer that they're not, your dad's Ikea. They're trying to be a little bit more forward.
I guess that's fair enough. I mean, if you look at all the new brands for like couches and stuff like that are out there, they're like, straight to consumer type brands. They're advertising everywhere for Facebook and Instagram. I mean, those brands are not cheap either, so they're attacking that market really well.
Yeah, and the thing with Ikea, again, it's still probably the most affordable furniture that you can get that actually looks good. And again, if you're talking to somebody who's out of college, they get your first apartment, or maybe it's the first time you're not living with 5 roommates in a frat house and you want a little something nice. I think they're just trying to create a collective aesthetic. And to me as a designer, this appeals to me, I guess, a lot more than the average person would. I think
that's fair.
The people that follow Chris Stamp will buy this up because he's got a huge following. I think the stuff looks good. I'll go buy a $7 t-shirt. I mean, I'll go check it, or $10 t-shirt. I'll go check it out. I just think it's interesting that IKEA is trying to do different things. They had their Democratic Design Day, which they basically just have a day, and it's just it's just like this hardcore brainstorming of ideas and concepts. And that's one of the things I really love about IKEA is that they're always thinking about design. They're always thinking about efficiency. It appeals to an OCD, ADD, minimalist person like myself. So I'm a big IKEA fan. So I guess this interests me a lot more, like I said, more than most people.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You're not into it though, are you?
No, not really.
No? Okay.
I just, I know it's kind of funny. Like you're more interested in it from the design perspective. And I guess I would be too. I think I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm starting to become like, and maybe this is interesting to me because I'm starting to become more and more minimalistic. Like I don't want stuff. So it's becoming that.
I'm surprised that it didn't appeal to you because all of the stamped stuff is basically black.
Yeah. And lately that's been my thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's
hey, all right. I might be wrong on that.
All right. Might be swinging them to the other side, people. All right. So go check out, it's spelled SPANST, not Spanx, SPANST. And it's from IKEA, and the collaboration is with Chris Stamp. You can check out Chris Stamp. His store is stamped STAMPD. You can find all the information, full show notes at ecommerceminute.co. Do you have anything else, Bart?
Spans with span with not Spanx.
Spanning
that 5 times
galaxy. Spanning the galaxy with Spanst. All right. That's your e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow.
Of course, it has to have umlauts all over the place.
Umlauts. Would you like an umlaut? That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe, or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion, or just want to say hi, find us on social media at Sumo Heavy.